Hi besties, this is my first ever YouTube video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Sorry if I'm all over the place. Can't even start my intro right because I'm already stuttering.
Hey everyone, I'm already crying.
Check the nails out first. Hey, periods, getting gender reveal, but you know what? Fuck it, I'm trying new ass shit because I'm a basic bitch and I always be getting French with pink base or like white, you know, tips. But this time I want to do something different. Today, I'll be doing my lash clusters, which I was supposed to actually record the first time that I was going to try it, but I got a little bit lazy and it's been a while since I've done them. A while, girl. It's literally been like a week. It'll be like my third time using these, which honestly this is not bad. This brand's the Sophinita.
I have pure non-chatlant. How do you say this?
I forgot this bitch don't know how to read.
I don't know, y'all. I'm kind of dyslexic. I'm sorry. Sophinita cluster lashes from Amazon. They were for real like $8, so that's why I thought it wasn't gonna work. But let me tell you, girl, it works.
Let the energy off. This that bag walk through. Bad bitches walk through.
I'm gonna be, you know, gardening a little bit while I also do my lashes. And also I decided, since, you know, I'm like Mexican or whatever, I was gonna be sharing some stories, some scary stories, some like El Rancho type shit, you know. I'm an iPad kid and I grew up watching YouTube, so I don't know, I like watching stuff like that when I get ready or driving to work or showering or I don't know. My setup is actually insane, which I'm not gonna show you, but it's okay. We're starting from, you know, the ground up. Scary stories, lashes, and a little gardening session. Anyways, I'm Mexican, right? And I grew up in Brownsville, Texas. Now for y'all that don't know that, it is like literally right down south border of Texas. Like I'm telling you, like, I don't know, like a 30-minute drive into like the border. So my grandma, she's from this little pueblito called El Levanito. It has like hella like dirt, right? So it's like her little house and like, you know, the blocks or whatever, but everything is just dirt. Like everything's dead as just dirt. So like when it rains or whatever, it gets like all like lodoso. But it was fun though, because like right around her house, like we had a little plaza and everything, that I would go, you know, and hang out with my cousins at every summer. I would ask my mom, beg her, literally let me go to Mexico. Girl, I swore, oh my gosh, it's not a good day to have babies. I also did ask some of my aunts and my mom, since, you know, they all grew up together, like what they remember as far as them, like, you know, childhood scary stories or whatever. Because, you know, like, girl, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes when I would be like younger, I would used to love when the adults would let me sit at the table with them or like just outside, like in the corredor or whatever, and they used to tell scary stories. Girl, I used to get hella scared. Like, let me find out that Llorona's about to come. So there was this rumor, right, that there in the rancho there was this little viejita, and this viejita, let's call her Elena, right? So there was rumors that Elena was little brujita, okay? And for y'all that don't know what that means that she was a little witch. In Hispanic community, specifically Mexican community, we believe in like brujas, like santeria, like all that stuff, black magic, if you will, I guess, right? So this lady, supposedly there was a rumor that she was doing black magic. Now my grandma, she's always been Christian. Basically, right, she would pass her house going to church. Well, my grandma's always been that type of person, and I guess like back then they were very trusting, where like they wouldn't lock their doors or whatever, and like if you knew like your vecino, you would just kind of go over like, hey, ¿qué onda? Like, what's up, vecino? What's up, vecina? You know, neighboring, like type shit. Which is still so crazy to me that people were that trusting, but you know, simpler times, whatever. Who the fuck am I to judge? So, like I said, she was very trusting. So one time she said that she was walking, and she, you know, hadn't seen like this señora come out of like the house, because, you know, brujas and brujitos be going to church and stuff too. The devil be up in that church sometimes.
Just step aside and let me on in now.
And she hadn't seen her go to church, right? So she was like, I wonder if she's okay. And one time she said que andaba pasando, like she, you know, went past her house and the house was open, like the door was open. So she was like, you know, out of concern, out of being like, you know, a good Christian woman, she went there. And she said when she went in there, like the smell and the odor that literally hit her like pop in the face, she said it smelled like death. She was like, girl, it smelled like death. But obviously she didn't say girl, right? But she was like, mija, olía muerto, olía feo, olía como que algo se estaba pudriendo, like something was like rotting and shit. But she literally said she turned the corner and saw that this girl, I forgot what I named her, the señora, she was all laying in bed, and there was really chunks, like not like I guess big chunks, but what I can imagine, because I'm visual, she was telling me, is like her skin, pieces of her skin were coming off, which is why, you know, it started to smell like death or whatever. And she said that she just left there so fast, and you know, like back then, like the police, I guess, kind of like was fucking with the mañosos, you know, like the cartel people, so it was like very like iffy on who you can call or whatever. I guess that lady, unfortunately, she ended up passing away like probably maybe like a week after that. And según like my mom and my aunt, so my mom's the youngest out of like 8, and my older like tia, she's like probably the second like born from the girls, right? My tia at the time, you know, she was older, she already had like her first son, and he was probably maybe about like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years old. And my mom was like a little chamaquilla, like a little girl, and my aunt was like, you know, like still like a chamaca, but like kind of, you know, on some señora shit, because obviously, you know, she had a baby. And it was like some girls that they grew up with, like in the rancho or whatever, that they would hang out with, right? So basically, they were chilling in this little plaza that I just mentioned like earlier, where I used to hang out with my cousins or whatever, and they were sitting in this big ass tree. So they're sitting on this tree, and they said that it was like ya like in la tarde, tardecita like this, but a little bit like later on in the tarde, and they heard this like big like animal. So they looked over and they saw what was appearing to be a big like bird. Oh, and like I guess it was flying kind of to like where the sun was kind of like hitting them, so they couldn't really see it, but they said that the bird was like flying kind of like slow, like it was like super tired, like hella tired or whatever. And they said that as soon as it landed like on the tree nearby, it literally just turned and looked at them, and it looked like a bird like and a human, like kind of like I guess fused into one. But they said that they fucking ran super fast to their house, because who wouldn't, right? They ran hauled ass. They said as soon as they were in the house, they like looked out, still trying to be like nosy or whatever, because they were also styles like, you know, like did we dead ass just see that? They literally saw the bird fly away, like, but they said it was so fucking big, and the bird looked super like humanoid. When that old lady passed away, like people were kind of saying that it was her or whatever, which would make sense, you know, since like the bird was all tired and, you know, flying around and shit. But why the hell do I look like the Mies from fucking Obi? What the hell? I remember like hearing that as a kid, bro. That used to scare the fuck out of me. She shivered the fuck out of my timbers, I'll tell you that. If you ask me, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what nobody say. I think that that's real, because y'all, like I said, in Mexican culture, is very common for brujería, santería, all that shit to be happening. And you know, it is said that witches, you know, can like morph into or shapeshift into other things. So I think that that's what they saw, because what are the odds that like, you know, the señora died or whatever, and all of a sudden they see that and it like looks humanoid or whatever. And like, you know, like I said, my grandma's like a Christian woman, and she deadass like has like no reason to lie about like what she saw with the señora. And the fact that it was like within like the same like vecindad, it just kind of leads me to believe that, you know, it might have been her, or it was her. That shit used to scare me so fucking bad as a kid, because I could just picture it. I was like, hell no, bro. If I was there, as soon as I saw the shadow, I would have been gone. I would have been like, where is she? Gone. Oh my god, I look crazy. But I'm doing 10 millimeters in the inner corners first. Then I'm gonna go in right now with the bigger size, a 12, and then no, probably like a 14, because I like them a little bit bigger. 14, and then 16 in the outer, maybe like an 18. We'll see. Story number 2 is a little bit more like, yeah, scary, but it's kind of like a extraterrestrial, if you will. So that same aunt that I had, or that I have, the mom fucking saying it like she passed away, she's still very much alive. Hola tia. Oh my god, this is pissing me off. What the fuck? In that same house, right? Because like, girl, like everything happens in Mexico, I swear to god. They basically all shared a room, right? Because like they grew up like poor or whatever, so they all had to share a room. And she said that in this one instance, it was like super late at night, and she was sleeping by the window, And you know, they didn't really have like AC or whatever back then, because they were very, very, very poor. So she was sleeping next to like the ventana, like the window, whatever, to try to get some fresh air, which understandable, because girl, it'd be hot. It is so hot in Texas, but in Mexico it's hot as fuck.
There's a lot of sunlight.
She was sleeping and she said that she woke up because, you know, like when you're sleeping and somebody shines like a super bright light in your face, or like a flashlight trying to record you like on some weirdo shit, like why the fuck are you recording me sleeping? She said that she woke up to that, and she said when she saw out the window there was like this big tree, which is still there to this day, but she said she woke up to see in this tree, and the tree had like, it was like a super bright light like right on it, and when she looked up the tree, and she can feel the wind of this tree just kind of like, just then when she looked up, it was a circle of lights, and it just zoomed up and left. I don't know why she's in denial that she saw an alien, especially now with the government admitting that there was a fucking alien and shit. Not that there is there is aliens living among us. So girl, who knows, I might be an alien. What's up, y'all? Especially since, like, you know, it wasn't like a lot of, I guess, awareness about aliens back then. I am just like, just inclined to believe her. Like, there's just no way that just wouldn't, like, that would not have happened. And my aunt, like, she's not like a mentirosa or whatever either. Like I said, she's super Christian. I'm not saying that Christians can't lie, but you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean. This other story happened in the other rancho. My dad, his mom and my grandma that I was just talking about, they lived probably, I would say, maybe like 20 minutes from each other, right? So like two different like little ranchos. It's kind of how my parents met too, at bailes and stuff. But okay, so when my parents were together, because typical Mexican, I don't know about y'all, but my parents are divorced. One time my dad was working in Maine or Ohio or someplace, and he, you know, had to leave. So in the summers we would spend it in Mexico. Sometimes my mom would spend it at her mom's house, sometimes we would spend it at my grandma's house, which is the one that I'm talking about. And this grandma specifically that I'm talking about, she had like hella matas, like hella plants, just you know, everything, like typical, like just Mexican outdoor grandma. And she was just lucky enough to have her mom, so like my great grandma lived literally like right from her. Like, I'm not even kidding, when you got out of my grandma's like gate, like her porton, you literally walked like what, not even 10 feet, no, that's a little exaggerated, 20 feet, and her house was there already. So that grandma, she lived by this canal, right, like literally right behind her house, and she had this like chicken coop. I guess, like, I don't know if they ate all the chickens, girl, I don't know, but basically the chickens were no longer, and she ended up replacing them with turkeys. And I will never forget, because when we used to go into Mexico, and I'm telling y'all, it was like hella dirt roads, right? So when we would cross like the border, and we would start getting into like the little dirt roads, like to turn into like their little pueblito, my grandpa, rest his soul, he would let it get in the back of his little blue truck. It was just really fun to be on. So we loved getting on that truck. So I remember, like, when we would pull up to like the rancho, I would be scared to get off, and he would just be laughing because the turkeys would get hella close. Like, I don't know if it was trying to eat my toes or what, but they would just get really close. And I remember one time, you know, it was like super stormy, which I like, I don't know, even now to this day, as like being 25, I love when it just storms and I can just sleep through it. I guess it's just very relaxing. Like, side note, but I think I accidentally trained myself to only sleep to rain sounds. Storm clears, no pasa nada, we wake up. And I remember, like, so where I used to sleep at, like the window, you can literally hear everything, bro. Like, you can literally hear people come through the porton hella early, asking my grandma for coffee. Like, my cousins or her cousins, you know, because like we call their primos and primas our primos and primas. This one particular morning after the storm, I heard like hella like gasping and shit, like, oh my god, ¿qué está pasando? Like, what's happening? Like, I was like, me being nosy, like, what is happening, y'all? What is happening? Back then, like, my grandma, she had this like recorder, like, you know, like those cameras, the ones that you would like hold like straight up from the office or some shit. That's what she had. I swear to God, I put this on everything in my life. It was like hella commotion or whatever, right? And this little shack that she had, it was made out of like wood. Like, you just tell that they got like wooden planks, and you know, they kind of just like built it together. Well, and I'm like looking, and on the outside it was like hella like deep, long ass scratch marks all throughout like the walls, like if something was trying to get in. Bitch, they all opened the fucking little pin, and all the turkeys were dead. Like, I'm not even kidding. All like 4 of them were dead. They all had like holes on their necks. I will never forget that. Like, that gave me like the heebie-jeebies. Like, I'm getting the chivirigas right now thinking about it. Like, one of my like dad's cousins was like, bro, it was a chupacabra. I was like, what? And they were like, yes, like look, it's all drained from blood. Bro, the turkeys dead ass like no tenían sangre, bro. They were like secos, like dry, like you fucking are dipping a motherfucking wing in some fucking ranch from Wingstop and you're eating that fucking shit. Like they were dry. I believe it. Like maybe, you know, y'all saying it could be a different animal, but why the fuck would the animal suck the fucking blood from these animals and just leave it there? Like you would think that another animal would just, I don't know, carry it away to eat it somewhere, but no, it just literally sucked the blood and just did, like on some Twilight shit. Oh, y'all see that? Literally gone with the wind. And that rancho specifically, like, oh my god, so much stuff happened like there. Like my grandma, I wouldn't say she's like a curandera or whatever, but like she definitely like did like brujería. Like nobody can tell me otherwise. Like dead ass, like this woman was doing hella brujería. And it's a story for another time, but like she ended up doing brujería. My mom, like, it's crazy. Just so much shit happened there. Like I used to be so scared, and as much as I would like beg my mom to let me go to Mexico and stuff, like I would 10 times rather stay at my other grandma's house, the other rancho, than this rancho. Even like, okay, so this grandma that I'm talking about, her name's Amelia, right? My grandma Amelia, she has that house in Mexico, and then she has another house in Brownsville, Texas, which is where I'm from. And because I know y'all just seen that fucking lash fly away. Well, there goes a couple cents. You know, obviously, you know, all of our tío and tía's goals, like they all be fighting for terrenos and stuff like that. Like once they have it, the money that they make in the U.S., you know, they invest back in their home. So the one in Mexico was better off. Like she was dead ass, like building that bitch from the ground up. Like it was super decked out. It was real nice. I'm not gonna lie, I'll give her that. It was real nice, and that's something I always remember. The hell, I'm all like torcida and shit like Shamar. It's like, nah.
She's a runner, she's a track star.
But no, hella shit would happen there, bro. Like when I tell you, like at night you would hear things, you would like just hear chairs moving, you would just feel like somebody was watching you. Like you just never felt alone for real, like ever. Like you just never fucking felt alone. It was just scary as fuck, and like you would just have the worst nightmares in that house. I don't think that it was my imagination. Like I did ass think it was for real happening, because you know when you be messing with outside forces like that, like you really don't know like what type of shit you're summoning. But apparently this girl knew. She was like all hella pro at it. And the scariest part was that it just wouldn't only happen at that rancho, girl. No, it will also happen in Brownsville, in the Brownsville house. Like I said, you know, my great grandma, she used to live across the, like, you know, I guess road from my grandma, which is my grandma Amelia, my dad's mom, right? And unfortunately, you know, eventually how time does, you know, people pass away. So unfortunately she ended up passing away or whatever, but she ended up passing away in the Brownsville house, the one where my grandma lives at, because my grandma was her caretaker, and eventually she also became her dad's caretaker. So I will say that, like, you know, regardless, like the woman, it takes a special person to take care of somebody. She was taking care of them, and unfortunately she ended up passing away in that house, and not long after my great grandpa ended up passing away, you know, because they say it's like the broken heart syndrome. Why am I thinking about Bridgerton where she's like sorrows
Prayers.
right? And it was in this little room where, you know, my grandma had built it so she can keep a close eye on him, take care of him, give him his medication, just give him everything he needed. So tell me why the fuck, after he passed away, me and my sister, we went to go see my dad. My dad, he still lived with my grandma. And you know, as like Mexicans do, they were having a big ass carne asado right across the street. In this case, I swear to God, I'm not kidding, my grandma's sister lived across from her, right? So they obviously share the same mom. And I remember I was like real salty because like my cousins, you know, y'all ever had like those cousins that you want to see like on your dad's side, like it makes visiting your dad even better. I would like fuck heavy with my cousins, so I would always look for my primas, but like they weren't there that time, which was cool or whatever, you know. I was still gonna vibe, chill, because I knew that I wasn't gonna spend the night, and I was gonna, you know, get carne asada out of it. Me and my sister were chilling, and in that little room where my grandpa had died, my great grandpa had died, they boarded up, my grandma I guess boarded up, and she boarded up the windows with like little wooden like pallets and shit. It was like the door, right? And then me and my sister were sitting right here, like, because she had put a couch up against it. And we were like, bro, I can't wait to leave. When's the food gonna be done? So as soon as we were about to go ask my dad, I think, we started hearing like rattling. Bro, we literally turned, because she's facing me, I'm facing her, like when we turned. and the doorknob was kind of like right here, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, such an awkward spot to put like a couch or whatever, but she decided to do that. Sorry, my eye was getting like, my eyelash was sticking to the bottom of my eye. But it started literally shaking, bro. It started shaking. Mind you, he's been passed away for, I don't know, a month, and that shit's literally boarded up with tornillos, with nails and shit. And I remember running across the street to tell my dad. He did not believe me. Like, I thought he was, but he did not. I guess it didn't help that he was all like drinking or whatever, but I was like, bro, we dead ass just saw that and you're about to sit here and call me a liar. Also, side note, hello, I just came back to life. Back to the story. Sorry, y'all. I probably have ADHD, which you probably tell. I'm self-diagnosing myself, by the way, which I know you're supposed to, but see what the fuck I'm talking about? That was scary. And that's just like one of the few things that happened there. Like, across the street, que supuestamente like they had played the Ouija board or whatever, and I used to hate also going across the street, like when I would go see my cousins, because I don't know, like the house felt more haunted than my grandma's house. Like, are y'all both doing something? Like, are y'all both like twitches or some shit, like twin witches? Like, trust me, I put this on everything. I literally put this on fucking everything that I own. My life. My sister was using the bathroom. Ay, pobrecita, bro. So the way at the time that it was set up before they remodeled their bathroom, it was like, you walk in, right? You got the toilet, the shower, and then like the sink, right across it. So when you're sitting down, shitting or whatever, doing your business, you can literally see yourself. So she's sitting down and she says that she hears like in the drain, like a whistle, like, but like super distant. Like, think about, like, I don't know, you're in your house and you hear like from outside, like somebody trying to call somebody or their dog or shit inside. That's basically what she was hearing. She literally said that the curtain opened, bitch. And what she saw was so scary, she had to get the fuck up and run out with her pants still down, girl.
I lost my girl, I won't never heal.
She didn't even finish going to the bathroom or nothing. She saw, I know it's gonna sound really funny, bro, and I'm not trying to be funny, because she swears up and down, like, I don't know, like, even to this day she just sounds so traumatized talking about it. That little kid from Scary Movie, you know, where Cindy's like, hello, hello, she literally saw that little kid just floating and whistling, and she got like, maybe I'm not the best person to be doing this video. Literally was trying to tell my grandma, the one that, you know, was doing brujería and shit, and this girl not want to believe it. She didn't want to believe it. Girl, I know damn well it probably was there because of you. Like, what the fuck? So much other shit has happened to us. Like, me and my sister experienced so much paranormal shit. So if y'all like this story or stories I shared today, let me know and I will definitely do more. It could be like what happened at my grandma's house. It could be like other scary stories like that, you know, were kind of being told to me growing up that happened to my family members. Or I can even talk about like urban legends, like, you know, like La Llorona and, you know, shit like that. But man, when I tell you there's just hella stuff that happens in Mexico, like, why does everything happen in Mexico? Like, I don't like people that make up stories like that, because girl, I believe in that shit. So like, don't be trying to be no fucking producer and try to have somebody write up a little scary movie so you can profit off of it, trying to save this lie. Like, what happened to me and my sister and what happened to like my family, at least, you know, I'm gonna crash out. You know what? Bye. I'm gonna just do a whole new one. The hell, anybody can be replaced. Yeah, chef. But if y'all got scary stories like that, let me know. Like, let me know in the comments and shit. I'm trying to hear, excuse me, I'm trying to hear y'all scary stories, because I know y'all also been through some shit, or your family's been through some shit. Especially, like I said, if you're Hispanic, you don't even gotta be Mexican for real. But while I wait for this little thing to dry, I'm over here fucking yapping 30 minutes later, forgetting that I'm out here trying to also garden. There's just hella stuff that happened to me, that happened to my family, and it was really all mostly like at that grandma's rancho, like my grandma Amelia's rancho, or like my grandma Amelia's other house in Brownsville. Everything always happened there, girl. I felt like I was in a movie or something, bro. Okay, well, I don't think it looks bad like that. Fuck it, I give up. Here's the final result. not like the best, but also not bad, you know, for it only being like my 3rd time. I don't really got the money in this economy anymore to be doing no lash extensions, so I'm gonna be doing my own. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this first video. Like, subscribe to me, and I'll be trying to post regularly. Bye.